Now again, I'm talking about a female who has come to me. A 28-year-old female, height 160 centimeters, weight 108 kgs, BMI of 42.2, has come to me with severe weight gain and unable to conceive. So anyone who comes to me, since I'm a single specialty bariatric surgeon, anyone who comes to me is going to come for a weight loss. So she has come to me with severe weight gain and unable to conceive. Married in 2005 and she approached us in 2009. Before we proceed ahead, I would like to tell you something about her history. Patient, she's significant weight gain in last 2 years. She's married since 4 years. Significant weight gain in last 2 years. No menstrual complaints, no dysmenorrhea, oligomenorrhea, facial hair growth is present. Regular sexual relation. Hypothyroidism under control with treatment. No past history of diabetes, hypertension, COX contact, and no family history of tuberculosis of any other medical illness. Husband history, irregular sexual relation, no erectile dysfunction, no family history of tuberculosis or other medical illnesses, no surgical history, no past history of diabetes, hypertension, COX contact or thyroid. Both were occasional social drinkers and no tobacco intake. Now this patient has come to us. I would like to know from you all, how do we proceed for this patient?
What is her age you said?
I'll go back.
28.
28.
She's 28 years old, so she's pretty young.
Yeah,
and she's even having regular cycles. That means she's ovulating in spite of having she being overweight. She's having regular cycles.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is the weight you said?
108 kg.
Yeah. From obstetric, why is she not conceiving? There are a lot of other factors like tubal factor, pelvic factors, because you said no history of tuberculosis, but many of these women being infertile for so long do have endometriosis and other factors. So as an infertility specialist for the workup, I would definitely like to rule out all these other factors before I proceed with any other treatment. Okay, once I decide I have to treat her for fertility, my primary aim is going to be weight loss. There's no second thought about it. At 108, I don't dare make her conceive or even help her to conceive. Okay, because if fortunately, even if she conceives with the treatment at 108, the morbidity, the maternal morbidity and the fetal morbidity is going to be tremendous. Okay, so as far as my branch is concerned, the infertility workup, I'm going to look out for all the hormonal investigations and all the investigations pertaining to my fertility. And as far as the weight gain is concerned, yes, I would definitely try to find out what is the reason for it. What are the prolactin levels? Thyroid, you said, is very normal. But I would like to add into thyroid antibodies to find out whether she is, having any autoimmune pathology, which might be a cause of her infertility, or I don't know, not much aware about the weight gain factor and autoimmune disorders. And definitely, I would like her to lose weight with diet, exercise, and now that we are learning more about bariatric surgery. At 108 with a BMI of more than 30, that would be my first approach.
Anyone else would like to give their opinion on this?
Of course, we have to, rule out the male factors also. So basically, a good sperm count, important. There might be a sperm count. We are seeing a lot of patients who have male factors also, and of course, total workup, fertility workup of these patients and the husband.
Yeah.
Probably, wait for about 6 months. Ask her if she could, try some form of weight loss. If she could, come down by around 5%. Give her a short trial. And then proceed accordingly. And really, if nothing is working and the weight is really an issue, then probably we could think of bariatric. This is one patient. 100 plus now. We are also little not very happy. Getting them pregnant, because even if they get pregnant, it's a lot of stress delivering, a lot of morbidity in the mother, as Jyoti said. So I think we need to. So these are some things that probably we could think on lines of bariatric surgery. Yeah.
Anyone else would like to give any other comment on this?
No, same as about the both.
Dr. Manish, one thing I just want to highlight. we as gynec surgeons, we ourselves are not very much open for bariatric surgery. There could be multiple reasons for it. First of all, I would say lack of knowledge. Okay, we are not, how would I say, not very familiar with the procedures which you are doing, how safe they are, what are the complications, what are the drawbacks, uh, how the patient is going to respond. So basically, the problem starts at our level. We are not very comfortable first. That is the very reason that I consented for this talk today, so that I get to know more about the subject. One thing, once we understand it, counseling and convincing our patients becomes easier. Okay, then the battle starts. She has to be convinced, and then she has that fear. Surgery, no. It's a normal thing for a routine surgery. Also for a diagnostic hysterolaparoscopy for infertility, they would deny. So think of bariatric surgery. So these are the steps of hurdle, which we have to, someday we have to break it and go ahead.
Yeah, basically we would like some clear guidelines, which are the probably fertility patients who could be probably, go towards, bariatric, and which are the ones probably which would help us, Bhakti could tell us, where diet, lifestyle change, we could have helped these patients. Because we know, this patient of 108,
many,
if she can do 10%, it would make a lot of difference. Now, for that 10%, doing bariatric, probably we are not very happy doing that. So, so if you could give us little clear-cut guidelines, basically, study, you will have lots of patient load. Probably, which are the patients who would benefit with bariatric, which are the patients probably we could try, your lifestyle modifications.
Strongly recommend that they should go for bariatric, and that would benefit them.
So how long of a trial of lifestyle you could recommend bariatric surgery? So these are, a few guidelines if you could give us. Probably it would help us in our practice.
So I'll just give you all some basic guidelines. We calculate the level of obesity on the basis of BMI. Now, one thing is very clear that WHO in 2013 has already said that obesity is a disease. Now in 2017, after 2017, obesity is the world's second biggest killer. It is the second highest preventable disease, which if not prevented can lead to death. Now, even in this COVID era, if you have seen the data that has come to us, in US, in UK, in Europe, 63% of the admitted patients were the ones who were obese, and 70% of the patients who required ventilators were morbidly obese. Now, that means it is one of the biggest factors which can really impact the immunity of the person. So this has now absolutely authenticated what we used to say till now. Anyone with a BMI of less than 25 is supposed to be normal weight. 25 to 30 is supposed to be overweight. Anyone more than 30 is supposed to be obese. 30 to 35 is grade 1, 35 to 40 is grade 2, and more than 40 is grade 3 or morbid obesity. So whenever a person is less than 25 BMI, so either normal weight or 3 to 5 kg overweight, we do only diet. But once the patient is 7 to 10 or 12 kgs overweight, diet does not work. You need diet plus something, diet and exercise. And when you do diet and exercise, you can lose that weight and retain that weight. Now I'll come back again to the point that I said in normal weight or around 5 kgs overweight, diet works. But where does diet work? Diet works for a patient who's overweight by 5 kg and requires 5 kg weight loss. If you're overweight by 30 kg and you do diet for 5 kg weight loss, you will lose weight temporarily. You will regain back not 5 kg, but you will regain 8 to 10 kg. Because for a patient who's less than 25 BMI, the line of treatment approved all across the globe is only diet. But if you are more than 30 BMI, or if you are more than 5 or 10 or 15 or 20 kgs overweight and you do a treatment for 5 kg, you are going to have a temporary response. Similarly, when you are 7 to 14 kgs overweight, for 7 to 14 kgs overweight, only diet will never help. Diet plus exercise is the best kind of option. But diet and exercise will work in long term for a patient who is 10 to 14 kgs overweight and requires 10 to 14 kgs of weight loss. But if you are 30 kg weight, overweight, and you think that at least 10 to 14 kgs मैं ऐसे कर लूँगा या कर लूँगी, then it is not going to work. It is going to work for 5 months or 6 months, and you are going to gain back at least 30% more than that you had gained, because it was not the line of treatment for that weight that you have. So you have to consider treatment as per the stage of obesity, and you cannot consider treatment as per the weight loss that you want. So once you go more than 30 BMI, the option, you become grade 1 obese. And this is now proven beyond doubts across the globe, across specialties, whether it is endocrinologists, gynecologists across the globe, surgical community, orthopedic community. Everyone has accepted that anyone with a BMI of more than 30, the treatment option is only bariatric surgery for weight loss. Now, how much is weight loss, weight gain going to interrupt into your day-to-day functioning? That you have to take a call. If you feel the patient is just 32 BMI and the patient will not create a problem during pregnancy, during hysterectomy, it is totally up to you how you take a call. But there are these patients who are more than 32 BMI and 35 BMI who will have problems in their day-to-day working also, who will have problems during your course of gynec treatment also. So ideally the prescribed line of treatment is anyone less than 30 BMI, no surgical intervention, more than 30 BMI, only surgical intervention. I will tell you now in short, what did this patient go through? Now this patient, I have the entire case study. Patient married in 2005 at the age of 24. They tried to conceive normally for 2 years but couldn't. Investigations in wife. Serum AMH levels were borderline, it was 7. Thyroid profile was normal, but patient was a hypothyroid on medications. Serum prolactin levels were normal. Other hormones were normal. USD showed mild PCOS. Volume 10 cc left ovary, 11 cc right ovary. Investigations done for the husband. Semen analysis was normal. Good mobile sperms with grade 4 motility. Inguinoscrotal ultrasound with Doppler showed no varicocele. So this was the investigation workup done. Then in the treatment, oral medication with follicle study with planned relation was done for 3 cycles with supervised weight loss by a registered dietitian. Then the patient was referred to an infertility specialist. Diagnostic laparoscopy was done, which showed no endometriosis, bilateral tubes were normal, bilateral tubal patency, no evidence of COX or COX contact. DNC was also done. Then IUI stimulations were done with gonadotropins. 3 cycles of IUI were done and patient was advised supervised weight loss. Then they took a break for a few months. Then they went for an IVF to that same infertility specialist. They went for 1 cycle and it failed. Now during this period, she gained weight from 95 to 108 kgs in these 2 years. And she came to me in 2009 when she was already 108. But when she had met the gynecologist 2 years back, she was 95. I think so, more or less the gynecologist, because I know the gynecologist personally, she is a very well-known person. I think so she's done reasonable work and reasonable protocols. Most of you all are infertility specialists over here. You all would agree that she has done her bit over here. Then she was referred to Asta Bariatrics. She underwent laparoscopic sleeve gastrectomy in April 2009. She came to 68 kgs, 40 kg weight loss in 8 months. She conceived in February 2010. Delivered the first child in October 2010. Delivered the second child in November 2015. Pregnancy was attained by normal methods of conception, and both pregnancies were planned LSCS. So this was in short what the patient did, and I so much agree to what you all have said, because anything and everything that you all advised was the one probably this patient had gone through. So yes, as per what you all discussed and what we have seen, the patient did go through the ideal lines of treatment and then was referred. And I could hear from this panel also that you all said that yes, this would be a case definitely for increased weight loss. So friends, I would just like to tell you all one thing very, very, very confidently. Bariatric surgery is extremely safe.